The Joad family was forced to leave their home due to the agricultural failure and bank greed. While they maintained the Oklahoma area, banks acted as monsters and controlled the land of others. The greed of the banks showed how the upper class would do whatever it took to make money, even if it meant hurting someone else. The banks' actions effectively portray societal tensions during the Great Depression.
Due to our current economic crisis, a large number of homes have been foreclosed on and taken over by the banks. This has become a large problem over time, and many people have had to relocate where jobs are available, just like the Joad family did. Meanwhile, many upper-class families live in mansions with countless rooms and amenities. There is a huge gap in America between the rich and the poor.
Here we see Ma feeding children other than her own, despite the fact that she barely has enough for her family. Steinbeck associates with the lower class, therefore portrays them in a more positive light. This is one of the multiple situations in which Ma portrays the idea that the poor are more likely to help each other than the rich are to help the poor. Societal tensions and the rift between the upper and lower class is a major theme in The Grapes of Wrath.
Today, it is not simply the poor who donate, but there are many who provide food, money, or time to food pantries, soup kitchens, and Meals on Wheels, despite the fact that they have their own personal issues to deal with. People are very willing to help the needy today, just like the Joads were, despite their own personal struggles.
At the many cotton plantations, debates rose over scamming the system. The poor say that the rich have crooked scales, while the rich claim the poor put rocks in their bags to beat the system. Although both are equally guilty of trying to scam, often the rich are able to get away with their actions, while the poor must always face the consequences. This shows how the rich took advantage of the poor and a cause of clash of classes.
In today's society, the rich and famous are seen as getting away with crimes despite the fact that they are guilty. For example, Lindsay Lohan has been arrested multiple times for theft and drug abuse, among several other things, but has barely spent any time in prison. This shows how her celebrity status allows her to get away with things others would normally not get away with.
Throughout the Joad journey, they encountered many conflicts regarding the tension between the rich and the poor. The poor believed that the rich were taking advantage of them and therefore argued their views on economic and social policies. This can be seen in the Hoovervilles and also outside the Peach Farm. These protests show the great tension between the rich and the poor.
Today, there are many people who don't accept the gap between the rich and the poor. At the Occupy protests found in Boston and several other cities throughout the U.S., there have been arguments over the 1% versus the 99%. Many have been arguing that 1% of Americans hold a majority of the country's wealth, while the other 99% struggle with unemployment and the other ills of the economic crisis. Occupy Boston is a perfect example of how this theme of societal tension in the Grapes of Wrath is still apparent in modern day.